Hi there, my name's Simon. I'm the founder of AMS DesignLab. I've just delivered a presentation to one of our customers where we helped take their business to the next level. Now, it's actually a detailed presentation, and I realised, whilst I was giving it actually, that this would actually be very valuable information to other people. So what I've done is actually compress that detailed presentation, taken out the critical, salient points, and created a very small presentation of video, which is what I'm going to deliver to you right now. So if you think of yourself as a startup business, you've got probably 10 or less staff, and you're looking to try and drag your business or get your business up into the next level, and this short video is for you. Now, if you do like any of the points that I raised in this video, please be aware that much more detail is in the full presentation, and I'll explain to you how you can get that at the end. So my question to you really is right now, do you want to stay a startup business, or are you looking to actually take your business to the next level, what I call to the grow up phase? So the question is it time for you to grow up? So what we're going to do first, and probably to help answer that question, is take a look at the growth journey, so you understand a little bit what's involved here, and you can probably find yourself on this graph actually. So as we start a business, we are of course in that startup phase. We have lots of energy, we're working 12, 18 hours a day, 6 days, 7 days a week, and we're doing everything we can to drag in those early customers, and eventually they start to buy and we start to get some income, and it feels great, it feels very exciting. Now at some point we're going to hit the wall. The wall usually happens beyond about 8 staff. Once you go beyond about 8 staff, you need to put in different management processes, different administration processes to deal with those clients and to deal with those projects. Before that, you can remember all the clients, you know each other inside out, but it's a really difficult phase for a business to circumvent and get through. I know, I've hit this wall, and it's probably a video for another time, but it was a very, very, very difficult period for us. It cost us probably something like 10 to 12 months of real pain. We actually had to kind of move back to the startup phase, collect our thoughts and come up with some tools, assets to get us through this wall phase. And it was not an easy time. But once we did, we then experienced huge growth. And this is a cycle, I've not just made this up, this is a cycle that happens across any industry. And I've learnt this the hard way with lots of business coaches over the years, etc. And this is all the information I've learned distilled down to a very simple diagram. And of course what we want to do is we don't want to hit this wall. We want to jump from the startup phase right into the grow up phase as quick as possible. We want to fast track that period. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now, albeit very, very briefly. So the first thing you're going to need a brand. Now you've probably got yourself a nice logo and web page put together, but the chances are you didn't actually know a great detail about your customers at the start because you didn't have any, so you didn't know the exact details of them. By now you perhaps know what wording works, what if you're at the luxury end or budget end or somewhere in the middle, exactly what are your messaging and what resonates with your customers. That really needs to be fed back into your brand. You may need to tweak or even rebrand your business. Now that's not an easy thing to do. People don't like having to do that, but this may be the most important time to do it. And that's something for you to consider. You're going to need a product funnel. No doubt you have a range of products already. Depending on how evolved you are, you're going to need some gifts, some items that lead prospects into your services and so they can engage with you. You're going to have some P for Ps, products for prospects, low cost items, where again they can increase that engagement with you at a low cost entry level. Then you're going to have your core services, what you might call your P1s, and then you're also going to want a P2 at some point, which is going to be a high ticket item, which could be in the tens of thousands, depending on the industry, and that probably is going to be really where you make your money. Sometimes it can take a bit of time to put these things together, but that's probably going to be the structure of your business eventually. Pretty much every successful business does have that structure. You're of course then going to need a range of marketing material to help promote those products and services. That's going to be landing pages, it's going to be autoresponders, it's going to be leaflets, sales brochures, it might be an exhibition stand, something of that nature. Once you've got your prospects, you need to put those prospects into a database. Now, of course, you're going to have a database of your offline customers, people who have actually purchased from you. You're going to want a database of people that have given you their email address, and you've captured that. That's great. But one thing, please do not overlook a database of people that have just visited your website. I see too many companies that don't actually have a way to communicate people that have visited their website who haven't yet given you their email address. If you're only communicating with people that have given you an email address, you're missing out on such a huge segment. So if that's not in place yet, talk to us and we'll make sure that gets put in place. Now, once you've got that, you need to segment your audience so you can put the right messaging in front of the right people. So if you're going to have an audience, and I'll do this very, very briefly, you're going to have an audience of people that engage with your blog, if you have one, an audience of people that watch your videos. You're going to have a group of audience that are your 5% top group who are the most engaged with your website. You can have a group of people that have purchased from you, and you can have a group per product. You can have lots of different segmentations. Again, so you can send the right people the right message at the right time. Now, we're actually very good at producing these 5 things. We're great at producing brands, great at producing products, marketing material. We can show you and put the database together for you and build that segmentation so you can do your marketing to those people. So we can help you with that, and if that's of interest, do please contact us and we can obviously go into much greater detail. Now, once you've got these assets, and it will take some time to put these assets together, this is not going to happen overnight. There's a lot to this, right? And this is a brief video, but there's some complexity to each of these 5 areas. But once you've done that, we can put that into our business or our rocket ship, and you will fly past that wall, and that's when you hit that really turbocharged or hyper growth period, and you've taken your business to the next level, to that grow up level. Once you've done that, you can use this market-driven sales strategy to really magnify your income. Now, this is actually using a real summary, but of a real graph with a customer that we work with right now. And this was their core product. And we can see that over the course of a year, there's certain times a year where they achieve more sales than others. And what we did was we identified what was happening during that year, and then we actually adjusted and tweaked the products and certainly the communication throughout that year to amplify that. So we ended up with a graph more like this. So let me give you an analogy here. A friend of mine has a lovely apartment in London, and because he's a smart guy, he markets that property to 5 different segments. And I'll just outline 2 as an example. One of them he markets to is to couples that want a weekend romantic escape in the heart of London. And when you purchase or rent the property from him for a weekend, you arrive, there's roses on the table, there's champagne in the bucket, and there's a few other bits and pieces to provide a really beautiful service and experience. He markets the same property to corporate lets, who are a totally different segment of people. And what he does with them is you arrive, there's a guide to the local area there, there's a map, there's a tube map, there's also menus to the local takeaway restaurants, there's even a travel card with some credit on it so they can start commuting around the local area. And he has, say, 3 other segments he markets to as well. And what he does during the course of his year, he knows who to target to at what point. And by doing that, we massively amplify the income we generate. And the last thing on our graph, and this is really like a sanity product, recurring revenue. This really helps. We've got something like that. It's very stable. It's probably a monthly income or retainer model. And it might be a kind of members area. It might be a subscription web app or mobile app, something like that perhaps. But that means you've got that sustainable income. You're very solid. You can predict some of your income and you can build expenses around that. So that is a super fast, quick view of the full presentation. If any of those points were valuable to you, I'd urge you to get a copy of the full presentation. It's for free, so why not? just give your details on the form lower down this webpage, and I'll get that sent out to you straight away. Hope that was valuable. That's all for me for now, and hope to speak to you again in the near future.